Joseph Yusuf from John the Dweller. I think it's you know I like strange things, and the weirder and crazier something is, the more I look at it, like Mormonism or Jehovah's Witness. Well, lately it's been Nation of Islam, a religion founded by a white man, and it's just so strange because in every it I think Elijah Muhammad and Waris Fard Muhammad. We don't even know if Wallace Fard Muhammad even I mean, we don't know what he preached. It's all through Elijah Muhammad. It's as if he was trying to do the exact opposite of Islam, to be totally negative of Islam. You know, like a picture is a negative. The Muslims, Islam has always believed and always professed that there is one God, and He does not have any form. He is beyond and above all. He is transcendent. One God with no partners. You can't even imagine him. He would never come in the form of a man. He would never have a son. Things like this. The Nation of Islam believes that Fard Muhammad was the was God. Um, Throughout the whole Quran, you have heaven and hell. I mean, the basic tenets. You know, everybody knows in Islam: one God, afterlife, right action on earth. But nations of Islam, disavow heaven and hell. I mean, even the Muslims accuse the Christians of, oh, you don't believe in the last day because you don't believe in an actual physical paradise. You believe you just may go to back to God or some spiritual thing. Uh, and it's funny, even watching. It's funny that how, and it's very sad because these people are so misled, and even their prayer, they're sitting around like as in a congregation, like any Christian service, and they're wearing these silly little bow ties with suits, and the women are kind of have hijab on, but it's a very strange form of hijab. And there's no, you know, they're not facing Mecca and bowing and doing the prostrations in prayer, and they're not speaking Arabic. And I don't think a single one of them speaks Arabic because they would read the Quran and see the truth of what the Quran says. And their insistence on the nature of well, they claim to be educated, which is really funny. That the black man's religion is Islam. Well, wait a second. It's been animism throughout all of African history, and one of the oldest continual religions there is A, Judaism, and B, Christianity. We see that there was Jews in Ethiopia in 600 BC. We see that the Christians were some of the first to start the first church, even before the church was in Rome. It was in Ethiopia. You can go there and see. Haile Selassie was one of the last basic Roman emperors who was a good Orthodox Christian. And there are many Orthodox Christians in Ethiopia to this day. They're under the Oriental Communion, and they are not racist in any way, shape, or form. Uh, Islam was brought in by the Arabs, and at the time of Prophet Muhammad, the Arabs were very racist, especially against Bilal, one of the first guys to call it Al-Zan. Um, and the Muslims had a history of being very cruel towards black people. The Arabs, Muslims and the Arabs started the slave trade. I mean, they picked it up from the black Africans, the form of slavery that they had down there, the chattel slavery, and they used that and they expanded upon it greatly. And there are many verses in the Quran that talk about slavery, endorsing it, heartily endorsing it. And even to this day, we see that in the Sudan, the Janjaweed were it's a Arab Muslim against black Christian. how do these people get so many things wrong? I mean, you have to insulate yourself and totally cut yourself off from all knowledge. Uh, they don't make Hajj. Islam, the first Sahaba were from every different part of the world. One from Rome, one from Greece, one from Ethiopia. One who was from a part of India, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia. I mean, the one thing we can say about Islam, for all the negative things that we could say about it, is it was never a race driven. It was never racist. The thing you can say is a bit Arab nationalist, and they did mistreat the black Africans very bad. Uh, I feel horrible for these nations of Islam people because they're so ignorant, but I also have a degree of disgust and disdain and almost hatred for them because these are people who will not come to the truth. They will not even educate themselves in the least bit, and they espouse race hate, and they don't even know what race is. They don't even know the trappings of our notion of race come only after Columbus, uh, as if there is a distinction between a European and an Arab. It's very funny. Uh, do I look Arab or do I look white? Well, they're one and the same. I mean, go to Syria. Look at anybody in Syria, um, and then look at anybody in Greece, and tell me if you can tell the difference, because you can't. These people, every little thing. I mean, it takes so long to go into it. They hate Islam so much because they take the name of Islam, and before, I mean, the reason why they could get away with it is because there weren't huge Arab populations here in the 30s and 40s. They take the name of Islam and slander it horribly. I mean, what they do to Islam is just as bad, if not worse, than what the Mormons did to Christianity. I mean, that's it is just silly. It's as if I were to walk around proclaiming I'm a Buddhist and that it was a militant war to establish nations and capitalism, and that there was one God, and that there was an eternal afterlife, and that there was uh, it weighed heavy on sin, and you couldn't overthink. I mean, it just ludicrous. This is really silly stuff. I don't know if there's any reason for anybody to learn about this kind of stuff. Just maybe to see the ridiculousness of it. Uh, and it's very silly. Some black people that I've known, that now that they have said things, I remember what they say about the 5%ers and this weird stuff. Uh, Again, a white man fooled Elijah Muhammad. A white man named Fard Muhammad fooled Elijah Muhammad or Elijah Poole, and it is the biggest, I guess, bamboozlement of it all. It's really weird. I feel bad for these people, but at the same time, there's a very dangerous reactionary thing in here to anybody who says that to hate other races. Uh, and I think it is true that to a large extent it was the fault, or not, it came from the wickedness of slavery and the oppression by white Southerners of black people. And these people, you can see why they reacted in such a way. But again, that doesn't excuse their actions. That doesn't excuse them from learning about history and coming to the truth. Uh, it's very odd. In non-nations of Islam, I guess it's coupling with Scientology, which another religion founded by a racist white man. Again, the weird. They're such hate with white people, but then they're talking about Nasser. Look at Nasser. He's an Aryan. He's a Caucasian. Um, this is very odd. These people, or the Palestinians. There are Palestinians, blonde hair and blue eyes. Those are the indigenous people there. I mean, it's very rare for blonde hair and blue eyes, but there are some. And they're actually, if you look at many Palestinians, some of them have extremely fair skin. They're actually very light, some of them. I guess I don't understand a lot of this virulent race hate because racism winds up getting destroyed in the New Testament and in the Quran and places like that. It's very odd when somebody thinks they can take an Abrahamic religion and turn it into racism. Although there is, I guess, if you were some form of fundamentalist Jew or you were clinging to the Torah and the Tanakh, but certainly not with Christianity. All right, or Islam. Peace to you. Uh, Odd stuff, strange stuff. Jehovah's Witness. Well, lately, it's been Nation of Islam, a religion founded by a white man, and it's just the exact opposite of Islam. To be totally negative of Islam, like a picture is a negative. The Muslims barred Muhammad. We don't even know if Wallace Fard Muhammad even start. I mean, we don't know what he preached. It's all through Elijah Muhammad. It's as if he was trying to do so strange because in every it I think Elijah Muhammad and Waris Fald, Joseph Yusuf from John the Dweller. I think it's I like strange things, and the weirder and crazier something is, the more I look at it, like Mormonism or